Question number 7, Eugenie Sage.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and asks, does he still believe that the fiscal risk associated with sea level rise is a bit speculative, given the damage surging seas inflicted on coastal properties in Australia this weekend?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes.
Does he...
Order, supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Thank you. So does he disagree with the head of climate monitoring at Australia's Bureau of Meteorology, who said, and I quote, "We know that coastal erosion from storm surges is progressively becoming more damaging because the sea level is rising"?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I haven't seen those comments, and I'm sure they're made on the basis of considerable expertise. The government tends to see this issue as a matter of getting in place the tools for managing the risk. So, for instance, we'll be issuing a document in the next few months that look at how risks of natural disaster are shared between government and local government, because local government make the relevant regulatory decisions, but when a large or persistent natural disaster turns up, there's a 60-40 basis for sharing the costs. And I think we all agree that could probably be changed so that the risks such as this one are better managed.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Can he tell the House what the estimated cost is of replacing the 160 kilometres of rail lines, 222 kilometres of state highway and more than 2,000 kilometres of local roads at risk from sea level rise and storm surges, according to the New Zealand Transport Agency?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no.
Order.
Point of order, Eugenie Sage.
I seek leave to table a Ministry of Transport report obtained under the Official Information Act showing the cost of replacing this infrastructure is close to $1 billion.
Leave is sought to table that particular report. Is there any objection? There is none. It can be tabled.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Will he reconsider his decision to ignore the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment's recommendation for him to examine the fiscal and economic risks associated with sea level rise?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, there has been no such decision. I mean, as the member has just pointed out, someone's done an assessment that says that over the next 100 years it might cost $1 billion to replace those assets. There's probably cheaper ways of dealing with that kind of risk. The government is proceeding with some pretty significant work with respect to managing natural disaster risk, both through the review of EQC and the review of local government insurance arrangements. And over the next couple of years, as the new arrangements are put in place, both central and local government will have clearer understandings and incentives about how to manage that kind of risk, which I must say in New Zealand is only one of a whole lot of other risks, such as earthquakes and floods, on which we are paying out more regularly fairly large amounts of money. In Christchurch, we've just tipped over $17 billion.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Does that work in relation to the Earthquake Commission or other agencies include looking at whether homeowners should be compensated for loss of property resulting from climate-induced sea level rise, and if so, when will a decision be made on that?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I don't think it addresses that issue specifically at this stage. It may arise in the future.
Question